And now we see if when we do the other low back exercises, we can get more vertebrae contributing to the motion, and we can make one vertebrae move at a time as we make our way through our low backs. We're going to start with a thoracic blocked lumbar segmentation. So for this one, we're going to be kind of up on the top of our head. You have the option of using yoga blocks. Everybody has different kind of lengths in terms of their torso and their arms and their legs. So you might not be able to make these blocks work, but for most people you can. For me, if I stack the blocks like this, it works quite well. I'm going to find where my bottom ribs live, and I'm going to paste them onto the block, such that where my ribs end is also where the end of this block ends, and then my low back is hanging off the block so that my low back is still free to move. This way I get a lot of feedback from my thoracic spine on this block, and I'm going to try and keep that feedback as little as possible. So I don't want my thoracic spine driving into it or lifting off of these blocks. I want to keep it still if I can. And I'm going to be in thoracic flexion, which is going to make it a little bit harder for me to move my thoracic spine as well. So paste yourself on your blocks there. You can play with different heights. I'm going to take my hands, I'm going to place them behind my head, and I'm going to rest my head on my hands. Now from here, I'm going to try and segmentally move my low back. You can play with different positions for your hips here, so I can move my knees closer. I can move them a little bit further away. Now my goal is to feel as little movement as possible on these blocks, and I'm going to try and slowly pull my low back into lumbar extension, squeezing those muscles that live on either side of my low back, and then slowly reversing, tucking my tailbone underneath me, rounding the low back, one piece at a time, going all the way into flexion, trying not to feel any change in pressure on the blocks. Slowly reversing, tilting that tailbone forward, creeping your way into lumbar extension, one piece at a time. Squeeze and hold, and reversing, tucking that tailbone back underneath, slowly rounding the low back, using your abs, using your glutes. Find lumbar flexion, but don't let your ribs leave that block. Reverse, tilting back forward, nice and slow, one piece at a time. Hold, and back into flexion. Nice and slow, taking your time. Eyes are closed. You're meditating on it, trying to really focus and feel each joint moving. One last rep, back into extension. Really fixated on moving each individual piece. And back into flexion. Take your time with it. I know it feels subtle. It doesn't feel like you're getting much movement. That's okay. You can come out of that position. That's just because we've completely blocked your thoracic spine, so now it can't contribute. So it gives you a more honest picture of your true lumbar range of motion.